Hi YouTube, I'm Troy Stetina, and I'm going to show you the solos in metal lead guitar. The first one here is Open Fire. First I'm going to play it, and then I'll give you a little walkthrough, things to pay attention to, how to make it sound better, that kind of stuff. So here we go, solo number 1. So there are a couple things to keep in mind as you work on this solo to make it sound good. The first issue is groove. You have to have a good groove, and groove applies to lead guitar as much as it does to rhythm guitar. And what groove is the ability to feel the pulse evenly and smoothly and express that pulse in motion even as you're playing the part, which will sometimes, agree with the pulse or sometimes oppose the pulse. So it's bringing those two things together and expressing them together that is what groove is all about. So the first thing is, don't just think pulse, but actually feel it. Don't stand there like a statue and play motionless, or you're never going to have good timing. Tap your foot, or even more than that, feel it here, feel that pulse and move, be able to move with it, and that'll give you a good groove, and it'll keep you in time. The next thing is finger vibrato. So that's this. What you want with that, I'm putting my the knuckle here against the fret, the side of the neck, and twisting my hand to create the vibrato. And as I twist this way, it bends the string a little bit, the pitch goes up, and then it releases, it goes back down. Make sure that each bend and release comes all the way back down to the unbent note, or the whole note's going to sound sharp, and it's going to sound like a wrong note. So make sure that the bends and releases are smooth, and so it's better to work on vibrato to slow it down. Play your vibrato slow, even if it's like this. I'd rather hear a slow vibrato that's controlled, because after you get that and you practice that a while, that is going to speed up. It's going to be easy to speed up. But if you try to play it too fast without the right motions, it's not going to sound very good, and you're never going to get the right motions if you keep doing the wrong motions too fast. So that's the finger vibrato issue. Another thing is microtone bends. They are not notated in the music, but listen for them. For example, at the beginning, that first C note that I play here at the 5th fret, there's a little bend, a little tail of that note that goes up. Now, a microtone bend, or a blues tail bend, I sometimes call them, is not a bend where you actually hit the note bent. You hit the note without a bend at all, and you only pull it at the end of the note. It kind of gives this a little sassy flavor or something to it. So that's the microtone bend. Bend only at the end of the note, right as you go into the next note. So, microtone bends, listen for them, they are in there. The next thing is string bending, so this part. And there you want to be careful that as you bend up to pitch, you don't hear the bend come back down. So people that are newer to string bending and don't quite have the technique are going to be doing stuff like this, and you're going to hear it come down. We don't want that in this particular case. You want to go up, and when your bend hits pitch, go right to the next note, like this. And how you do that is, I'm pushing up with my third finger, the second finger's behind it, so both second and third together are pushing up the string. And then at the peak of the bend, I'm holding that, This first finger is going to stretch back and hit the hold the next note, so that because I can hold those at the same time, I don't have to release this one until I'm picking this note. At that point, release this, let the pressure come off the fretboard. So that's the string bending part. And the last thing, what is the last thing? Pick harmonics. Pick harmonics, kind of a difficult technique to get, also called artificial harmonics or false harmonics or pinch harmonics, all the same thing. Use your pick, and as you pick the string, you touch it with the side of your thumb, and instead of the fundamental, you get harmonics. It's kind of a very precise technique. It's difficult to get consistently, so go ahead and work on it. But as you're working on it, understand, if you're playing the solo and you go for a harmonic and you miss it, it's not really wrong, because the note is still an okay note to play. You know, the harmonic gives it a little decoration. You know, it squeals, it jumps out a little bit more. But again, if you miss a harmonic when you were going for it, it's not like, you know, the end of the world or anything. It's not a big issue. It'll still work. Everything's still fine. But go ahead and work on it, because it's nice to be able to control it. So anyway, keep those things in mind when you play this first solo, and it's going to make it better. See you in the next solo.